heading home for the holidays. Anna Klumsky and Christina Ricci go prospecting for adventure in Gold Diggers. And Cindy Crawford and William Baldwin run for their lives in Fair Game.
Just happened back there?
I just got my best friend killed. That's what happened.
How was it your fault?
I was the one who called in the FBI. And that wasn't the FBI.
Cindy Crawford in her feature film debut is under attack, and William Baldwin is the lucky cop assigned to protect her in Fair Game, one of 5 new movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert, as well as a couple of family films, one starring the hot actress Holly Hunter and the other Patrick Swayze. I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Our first movie is Fair Game, and it seems to be more or less an effort to make a thriller so filled with action that audiences will be so distracted that they won't mind that the movie makes little or maybe no sense. The movie stars William Baldwin as a Miami police detective and supermodel Cindy Crawford as a lawyer who for some reason is being pursued by a deadly group of hitmen. Even though they're professionals, they seem incredibly incompetent. For example, they miss killing her in this parking garage.
Stay down!
And they can't seem to hit the side of a barn in this highway chase where Baldwin thinks fast and outsmarts the killers.
Hail the brakes on 3! 1! 2! Hit it!
And after Crawford gets on a moving train, Baldwin risks his life to join her. And then after she hits him because he's a fool and kisses him because she just loves the guy,
Why don't you give me your best shot? Come on. I'm waiting.
another hitman misses his chance. And of course, early in the movie, they blow up her house, but luckily she's standing on the balcony and is thrown free into the ocean. Those are just a few of the many, many attempts on this poor girl's life. She gets shot at and messed up so much that the movie has to schedule 2 separate sexy shower scenes just to keep her presentable. For me, the whole movie was like a build-up to a punchline. After they blow up her house, shoot at her half a dozen times, chase her down the highway, and attack her by land, air, and sea, trying to kill her, when they finally catch her, the bad guy says, "Don't harm the woman." On a technical level, the movie is pretty good, especially the highway chase scene, but the plot of Fair Game seems like an attempt to illustrate attention deficit syndrome.
Well, it's really ridiculous, and I think the punchline for a lot of people, Roger, is seeing Cindy Crawford with a wet T-shirt, which they do a couple of times in this picture.
No complaints for me.
Yeah, here's the problem. Why make her an attorney under attack by former KGB guys? That's for James Bond.
Yeah.
This is Cindy Crawford's film debut. Why not have her play a model under attack and have the dialogue, which she could have helped in, be smart, inside into the business? That's what you want from her. People going to see something along that line. It's just totally miscasting her.
Well, as far as the dialogue is concerned, Gene, last week I was out at the Virginia Film Festival and I got a chance to interview Miss Fay Wray on stage after King Kong. And she referred to her performance in that movie as the screamer role.
Right.
And that's what they've given Cindy Crawford here. She screams for 2 hours. She wears a wet T-shirt. She kisses William Baldwin, and that's supposed to be acting. It's too bad because She is very photogenic and looks good on the screen.
Okay, next movie, and our next film is called Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain, and it's not much of a secret, and it's not much of a movie as two talented young actresses walk through it. Here's the meet-cute that opens the film as the new girl in town, Christina Ricci from the Addams Family, encounters tomboy Anna Klumsky from My Girl. And here's the premise laid out by Klumsky. There's gold in them thar hills.
In the book, Molly Morgan says that you can find the cave at high noon on the day of the summer solstice. It's the only time when the sun's rays are at the exact right angle to shine inside the cave and bounce back. 11:51. 9 more minutes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it!
But first, a radical shift in tone as Klumsky is missing and her mother has been found beaten, apparently by an abusive boyfriend. Ricci is furious when the local sheriff doesn't take her fears seriously.
Ray got drunk and told Julie to take me the gold. Lynette must have tried to stop him and he smashed her. Jody is in danger and you're not doing anything.
The abuse story in Gold Diggers comes as a shock, and I don't think the film ever successfully puts together its adventure story and its personal drama. I think Gold Diggers needed to be a lot lighter or maybe a lot darker. The young actresses are fine. They'll survive this script.
I'm not sure you could have a movie that's a lot darker about looking inside Bear Mountain for the lost gold. This movie kind of reminded me of Nancy Drew Meets the Hardy Boys, and I agree with you. It's a pretty big disappointment, and furthermore, the tone of most of the material doesn't support the abusive subtext, which is kind of, why put that in for kids? This movie's going to appeal to young girls, and let them go and have a good time and not have to see that stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a complete mistake, and it does catch you by surprise. When we come back, Holly Hunter stars in Home for the Holidays, directed by Jodie Foster.
When you go home, do you look around and wonder, who are these people? Where did I even come from?
Are Saturday nights worth the trouble? You know, like deciding what to wear? Making small talk?
Shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad.
Finding something fun to do? And that awkward goodnight kiss. Maybe you'd rather just stay in with HBO Saturday nights. With a brand new to HBO movie every Saturday night, guaranteed. We're your perfect date. HBO, simply the best.
Some credit card companies promise you'll get a lot of mileage out of their cards. But at Discover Card, we offer something you can really use, the Cashback Bonus Award. In fact, we've given our card members over $500 million already. And the more you use your card, the more you get back. So the next time you travel, put more than just miles under your belt. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Appearing on video cassette for $22.98 or less. Look for the free Pepsi mail-in offer.
I got busy signals for an hour last night trying to call you.
Why are you playing hard to get?
I called you 10 times, Mom, and then I had to walk.
When right now, call waiting is so easy to get.
I spent an hour trying to reach you, and all I got was busy, busy, busy.
Call now and get free connection. You'll pay just $2.58 per month in Massachusetts, and you may never miss another call.
You got call waiting. Finally.
9X.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
God, look, she looks so skinny.
She looks terrific.
What's that thing on her head?
Ah, smile, smile.
Holly Hunter is greeted by her parents there as she returns home for Thanksgiving vacation and an annual encounter with all of her strange family members and their mutual memories and antagonisms, which form a minefield that has to be tiptoed around during the weekend. Hunter's mother is played by Anne Bancroft in an effective performance, and actually one of the strengths of this movie is that the parents are not turned into caricatures, but seem relatively normal compared to their unhappy children.
Look at your sister Joanne, the way she's ungrateful.
Mom, Joanne's a saint.
That's for the Pope to decide. Right now, she's a pain in the my feet every 10 minutes. Wait till she comes barging in here tomorrow. Little misorganized with her fabulous Nutri-Bird.
Wait a minute. We're not doing the turkey?
Of course we are. I'm doing my bird, she's doing hers. Don't ask.
On Turkey Day, the family begins to assemble. Hunter's sister is played by Cynthia Stevenson and her brother-in-law by Steve Guttenberg. They dread the presence of an obnoxious gay brother played by Robert Downey Jr. And then there's nutty Aunt Gladdy, played by Geraldine Chaplin, who has a few drinks and confesses her love for her sister's husband.
Your father can carve. Your father can play his organ.
Like nobody's business. You're the best thing on two legs, Henry Larson.
That's Charles Durning in a lovely performance as the father. He finds a quiet moment to talk to his daughter about his fondest memories.
The fog is lifting. Your mother's got a vice grip on my arm, and the ground is shaking. And Tommy and Joanne are holding on to my pants for dear life. And vroom, here it comes. That brand new 727 looking like some kind of whatever. And when that sucker takes off, there you are holding on to no one. Eyes wide open, just like your dad. You were fearless, huh?
Home for the Holidays was directed by Jodie Foster, who strikes a nice balance here between comedy and realism. As the holiday season approaches, I think a lot of people will not only find the movie funny, but will sense its core of truth, which is all families contain their share of strangeness and envy and eccentricity and old secrets, but this movie doesn't just dwell on that, it also shows the love and acceptance. It's a well-acted, well-written comedy, and it's a little more than that.
It is. We're getting a lot of ensemble pieces with mostly a lot of women's confessional stories. Here are a whole bunch of characters. This one works. It works better than those other films. I think it's because there are moments of quiet. Yes, everybody's got a smart line, and W.D. Richter, the scenarist here, has written some very funny dialogue. But there are quiet moments, particularly you mentioned Durning, sitting alone. And it's those moments where we're allowed to connect the relationships, and we see that there is some strength of this family despite all the quarreling.
And you know, what I really liked about it, and I touched on it earlier, Anne Bancroft and Charles Durning are the parents. Yeah. They are the center of the family. They have a sweet relationship of their own, and I thought they were both very good, and it was their anchoring that made all of the others flying around the dinner table make sense.
It's a good picture. Coming up next, a film about a most unusual boy. Is he real or supernatural? Or maybe both? Powder is next.
Yes, sir! Why in blazes is there so much food in these Encore entrees, Private? Even a hungry soldier like me can't finish all this rich, meaty lasagna! Encore's a 2-pound family-size entree, sir. Son, the Corps is the only family I got. Then here's the drill. My family will report for duty at 1800 hours, sir.
Al, about these Encore Salisbury steaks.
We'll skid over here and play 7 tomorrow.
For tasting more, it's Encore.
Today, big news from the automotive world. Happy Sport utility buyers flock to showrooms for their first look at the 96 GMC Jimmy. And look at the savings. Now that's a lot of green. And speaking of green, Jeep owners are green with envy. Now the Jimmy tops Grand Cherokee with over 4,800 simoleons in savings. Could there be a better time to save? Get moving. See your New England GMC truck dealer today.
To test pans with the DuPont Silverstone Select Surface, we dropped them off at real-life homes. Then we came back for the results. And the pans. Seems people grew rather attached to them because Silverstone Select took the heat and everything else families could dish out. It's our most durable Silverstone yet. Frankly, we've never seen results quite like this. DuPont Silverstone Select for pans that take whatever you dish out.
Why you look like that? You look like some kind of vampire from outer space or something.
An albino boy with amazing powers is the subject of taunts and ridicule in Powder, a well-meaning drama that is probably too well-meaning because it doesn't make any sense. Sean Patrick Flannery plays a character nicknamed Powder who is born an albino after his mother is struck by lightning just before birth. There's a premise for you. Here's where we first meet him after he emerges from isolation and encounters Mary Steenburgen playing the friendly, concerned head of a school for troubled youths. Right away I had trouble with this film because Powder's makeup makes him look like a mime. I hate mimes. At the school, however, Powder is subjected to endless abuse. He has a response.
What are you doing?
Coming to Powder's aid, however, is a high school science teacher played by Jeff Goldblum, who may spend the rest of his life in these nerdy supporting roles.
That kid attracted an arc of electricity from 30 feet away, and not just from the Jacob's Ladder. I mean, after a second, it was like it was coming at him out of the whole building. You want to know why there isn't a hair on him?
Why?
Because he is electrolysis.
The only decent scene in the picture is Powder's tentative romance with a girl, but wouldn't you know it, there's always a jerk around the corner in this movie, and this time the jerk's her father.
What in the name of God do you think you're doing? You having a good time with my daughter?
And that's the whole rhythm of Powder, a nice moment followed by a threat of violence. I don't know what this movie is really about other than a tired lecture about being kind to people who are different. That message we get in 5 minutes. Powder, however, runs on for another 106.
Yeah, and you know, it doesn't have a lot of psychological truth in it because although it wants us to think that, first of all, when the kid is found, he's been living in a basement for 16 years, and so immediately they put him in a reform school. They don't, think he needs any special treatment, and then all the kids pick on him until he plays the spoon trick. And then he has that amazing scene with the electricity in the classroom where he floats in the air and absorbs the light. Now, the fact is, high school kids would be fascinated by that. Here's a guy that can do trick with spoons and absorb lightning bolts. Let's not pick on him. Let's invite him to a party. Yeah, come over to your house and see him do some tricks so that it rings totally false. All of the bad people in the movie seem to be unconvincing in their badness.
Well, so, I mean, what does the writer of this picture, for example, think of the audience? That we wouldn't feel kindly toward him? What are we supposed to do? Feel superior to the kids who are jerks and the adults who are jerks? Is that the entertainment value?
It's like nobody who is in this movie has ever seen a movie and doesn't know that what they're dealing with here is obviously kind of E.T. crossed with Ace Ventura. I don't know. Anyway, when we come back, a family gets a mysterious visitor and 3 wishes.
But what did the little boy wish for?
I'm not sure. What do you think?
Luxury cars are known for their high resale value. But what if we told you there's a car that holds its value better than the Lexus LS 400, better than the BMW 7 Series, better than any Mercedes sedan built, and it costs under $16,000? Would that stop you? The Nissan Altima, the affordable luxury sedan. Calculations of 93 Altima retaining more of its MSRP than 93 listed models based on information from the NADA guide.
Allow me to present new Ritz Air Crisps, a rather delicate new snack. Slowly savor the delicious flavor and the crispy little air pockets. And never eat more than one at a time.
New Ritz Air Crisps. Crispy, thin, delicious. Inhale them.
Our next movie is 3 Wishes, which takes place mostly in the 1950s when a family whose dad is missing in Korea gets a mysterious house guest. As the movie opens, the mother, played by Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, has hit a homeless beatnik with her car and broken his leg. So she figures the least she can do is offer him a place to stay until he gets better. He's played by Patrick Swayze.
But most people, they live in houses like this one, and
I guess they like it. But I have a different kind of house, where there are no walls, just mountains.
That's Joseph Mazzello as the older son there. He admires this strange man, but he also resents the fact that he doesn't seem to fit into their suburban lifestyle. For example, it would be great if he would shave his beard.
I'm not like them, Tom. You know that. Matter of fact, they're not even like each other. They just think they are.
You're saying I should be myself, aren't you?
Well, since it's the only thing you can be, it might be a good idea, huh?
The kid is on a little league team, and Swayze offers them some training tips. This may be the first movie to incorporate the Zen Buddhist coaching theories of the Chicago Bulls' Phil Jackson.
If you push too hard at anything, you'll get the exact opposite of what you're trying for. Everything contains its opposite. And
Meanwhile, the younger brother named Gunny has stomach cancer, but the Drifter's dog seems to have magical healing powers. Of course, Gunny has earlier said that if he could do anything he wanted to in his life, he would like to turn into fireworks. Three Wishes has its heart in the right place, but the plot is all over the map, and I'm afraid the brain is missing. The movie might have been better if it had simplified its storyline and not tried to deal with homeless men, baseball, romance, cancer, aliens from outer space, magic, fireworks, people who are missing in action, and the small-town resentment of outsiders. I think I did cover baseball. Okay. It's like every individual scene has a theme it's trying to push, and the overall thrust of the story is completely lost. This is good intentions run amok.
You could take this and powder and mix the reels, and both films would be just as good and make just as much sense. I mean, this is, I don't know how this thing got made. I mean, they've thrown everything into this picture, and I don't know what I don't know where my attention is supposed to go. I suppose I'm supposed to feel something for the stranger.
Yeah, and then not only that,
but I'm so distracted from that.
There's even the flashback structure where it starts and ends in the present, where the little boy has now grown up, but he has to learn the lesson all over again. And Martha Coolidge, who directed this, is a good director.
Yes.
She made Rambling Rose. This is kind of a lapse, I guess.
Well, it's a screenplay that no one could direct. Coming up next, our video pick of the week, an Oscar-nominated film based entirely on a single photograph.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Julie, can I ask you something?
Sure, you can ask me anything.
Where'd you get that cheese popcorn? Thanks.
Introducing Red & Butter's Cheddar. Delicious butterfly kernels covered in white and golden cheddar cheese flavors. New Red & Butter's Cheddar. So good, it's irresistible.
This season, HBO confronts today's major issues, like corporate takeovers,
You just lie back and let me be the boss.
water conservation, the blood shortage, and, of course, politics.
I gotta pee.
Stay in with HBO Saturday Nights with a brand new to HBO movie every Saturday night guaranteed. It's the intelligent thing to do. HBO, simply the best.
Can't be done.
When Pepperidge Farm announced their new fat-free cookies and brownies,
It's an oxymoron.
folks asked, could anything taste Pepperidge Farm and be fat-free?
Never be rich.
Fat-free cookies and brownies with real imported cocoa, some drizzled with fudge.
Won't taste Pepperidge Farm.
All natural and all-out delicious. Fat-free cookies and brownies, not just fat-free. Pepperidge Farm fat-free.
If you buy a Cavalier today, we wouldn't be surprised if by the time it's scheduled for a tune-up, you've already got it paid off. If by the time it needs new rear shocks, you have your master's degree. If by the time it needs a transmission fluid change, your baby is in first grade. Or if by the time it needs a new muffler, we've elected 2 presidents. Any car can be easy to buy. Cavalier is easy to own.
The 1996 Cavalier, starting at just $10,995 from your neighborhood Chevy Geo dealer.
Siskel and Ebert's Video Pick of the Week, brought to you by Orville Rettenbacher's Gourmet Popping Corn, the best part of the movies.
We all know the expression, one picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, my video pick of the week is an Oscar-nominated movie about a single photograph that is worth 86,400 frames of film. It's called A Great Day in Harlem, and it was properly nominated this past year for Best Documentary Film. A Great Day in Harlem is a celebration of American music through a look at the taking of a memorable photograph in jazz history, a picture of dozens of jazz greats taken in front of a Harlem brownstone in 1958 by the late photographer Art Kane for Esquire magazine. Here Kane explains the difficulty of getting everyone together.
I grabbed a copy of the New York Times and twisted it into a megaphone shape and put it up to my mouth and yelled and begged, please, please, can you please try to form some kind of a formation? Can you move on into the steps of that brownstone?
And here's drummer Milt Hinton on how the Stickmen all congregated together.
And next to him is Gene Cooper, who was Benny Goodman's drummer. And to the right of him is Sonny Greer, who was Duke Ellington's drummer.
Great Day in Harlem works both as a jazz document and also as a piece of cinematic journalism as we watch how Gene Bach tells more and more stories with limited resources. Even if jazz isn't your favorite music, I think you won't be able to avoid getting caught up in the celebration of talent and art that is A Great Day in Harlem, my video pick of the week. Now let's recap the movies we reviewed on this show. 2 thumbs down, way down for the ridiculous Fair Game, an absurd action picture that even Cindy Crawford's body can't make interesting. 2 more thumbs down for Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain, a picture that unsuccessfully juggles wholesome girlfriends with depressing personal drama. 2 thumbs up for the delightfully quirky and smartly written Home for the Holidays with Holly Hunter. Credit W.D. Richter for a screenplay full of wonderful dialogue. 2 thumbs down for The Misguided Powder, the give an albino a break picture with a supernatural bent. It's embarrassingly awkward at times. And 2 more thumbs down for 3 Wishes, with Patrick Swayze in a weird movie about a free spirit and some answered prayers. So we agree on all 5 pictures, and only one is recommended, Home for the Holidays.
Jodie Foster is turning into a good director. That's it for this week. Next week, we'll be back with reviews of more new movies, including Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, starring Jim Carrey on a hunt for a lost African bat.
Perhaps we should slow down. Nonsense, poopy pants!
And also The American President, starring Michael Douglas as the chief executive who falls for a spunky lobbyist played by Annette Bening.
I'm honored. I'm equal to the task. I won't let you down, sir.
Sidney, this is just dinner. We're not going to be doing espionage or anything.
That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.
Glade Clip-Ons, the refillable air freshener designed specially for your car. Now, with more freshening power. The Game of Knowledge, the exciting and educational game for children and parents, too. The Game of Knowledge, new from University Games.
Fat, 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 fat. How do you avoid it if you love cheese? By enjoying it.